Now we're going to learn about the bitwise operators. These are operators that allow us to manipulate data at the binary level. But before we start, I'm going to introduce you to a function which is known as the bin function. With this function, you can be able to determine the binary equivalent of a given number or a given integer. So let me start by having this variable. So let me call it num is equal to 5. If you want to determine the binary equivalent of this number, if you want to determine the value of 5 in base 2, which is binary, you use the bin function. And before I proceed further, feel free to skip this lesson if it is too complex or complicated for you. It is optional. To determine the binary equivalent of 5, all I need to do is I can say result is equal to bin, and then I'll provide num, which of course is 5. Now let's print it out and see the value. So we have print result, and here we have it 101. That's the binary equivalent of 5. So from the output, you can see 0 and B. This B here denotes binary, and this is the binary equivalence of 5. I can change this to 10, and the binary equivalence of 10 is equal to 1010. Now let's go back to the bitwise operators. Under the bitwise operators, we have what we call the bitwise AND. We'll have the Bitwise OR, we'll have the Bitwise XOR, left shift, right shift, and the Bitwise NOT. And like I said before, bitwise operators are used to manipulate data at the binary level. Now let's start with the bitwise AND. So here we have bitwise AND. And for this operator, we use this symbol. That's the symbol for the bitwise AND. And here I'm going to have num1 is equal to, let me call it 5. And num2 is equal to, let's have 7. Now we're going to perform a bitwise AND operation between num1 and num2. And for this, we're going to have result is equal to num1 and num2. Now let's print out the result. So we have print result. Now if we run it, we can see we have 5 as our output. Now this is what happened in the background. First of all, I'm going to determine the binary equivalent of num1 and num2. So here I'm going to have print bin num1, and I'm also going to do the same thing for num2. So we have print bin num2, and we'll run it so that we'll determine the binary equivalence of the numbers. And so we have 101 and 111. Now let me explain what happens whenever you perform bitwise AND operation. And in this case, we'll have num1 to be 101, and we have num2 to be 111. So whenever you are performing a bitwise AND operation, the operations are done at the binary level, at bit level. If you look at this number, we have 3 bits. If we look at this number, we have 3 bits. When I say bit, I'm talking about binary digits. So there are 3 digits here, and there are 3 digits here. And the operations are performed at bit level. So we're going to be starting from the last bit here, starting from the right. When you're performing a bitwise AND operation, both bits have to be 1 and 1 for you to be able to get 1 as output. Just like when we performed logical operations, for you to get true, in a logical AND operation, you need both operands to be true and true. So I want you to see 1 to be true and 0 to be false. So at this level, we have 1 and 1. This means that we're going to have 1. Now, the second bit here, we have 0 and 1. Because we have 0 and 1, see it as false and true, we're going to have 0. And then at this level, we have 1 and 1, which is like true and true. And so we have 1. So let me comment this out and arrange it properly. And if you look at the result, you can see we have 101, which is 5. And this is how we came about with 5 as the result of the bitwise operation between 5 and 7. If I change this to 6, we're going to get a different outcome. So this time around, we have 4. Now, if you look at the binary equivalents of 5 and 6, you can see we have 101 and 110. So let me change this one to 110. And in this case, we have 0 and 1, which will give us 0. And we have 0 and 1, which will give us 0. And we'll have 1 and 1, which will give us 1. Now let's determine the binary equivalence of the results. So we have print bin results, and we'll run it. And as you can see, it is 100. So this is how bitwise AND operations are performed. Now let's look at the bitwise OR operator. And so we have the OR operator, and for the symbol or the operator, we use the pipe symbol. And this time around, I'm going to be changing this to the pipe symbol, and we'll run the program. So we have 1, 1, 1. So this is what happens when we perform a bitwise OR operation. Just like the logical OR, you need at least a true for the expression to evaluate to true. And in this case, we have 1 here and we'll have 0 here. For the fact that we have 1 here, so this is going to evaluate to 1. Here we have 0 and 1, which is going to evaluate to 1. And we have 1 and 1, which is 1. And if you look at the output, you can see that the result has a binary value of 1, 1, 1. So this is for the bitwise OR operation. Now the third operator we're going to be looking at is the bitwise XOR operator. And for this, we use the caret symbol. And let me change this to the caret symbol, and we'll run the program. And so we have 11. Now let me explain what happens when we perform a XOR operation. When you're performing a XOR operation, at each level or at each bit, the two values have to be of opposing values for you to get a true. In this case, we have 1 and 0, which are opposing. So we have 1 here. And here we have 0 and 1. Two of them are opposing each other. So we have 1. And in this case, we'll have 1 and 1, which are the same thing. And because they're the same thing, we're going to have a 0. If there were 0 and 0, we'll still have 0. So for you to get true, it has to be false and true, or true and false. So this is how it came about 11. And 11 is equivalent to 3. That's for the XOR operator. Now let's look at the bitwise left shift. And in this case, we use the symbol for the bitwise left shift. So I'll start by declaring a variable. So let's call this variable num is equal to 4. And let's print out the binary equivalence of num. So we have print bin num. If you want to perform the bitwise left shift, you are shifting the bits to the left. and padding zeros by the right. For instance, I can have result is equal to num. Then I'll provide the operator for the bitwise left shift, which is this symbol, and then provide the number of shifts I want to make. So let me have 2 as my shift. Now let's print out the result. So have print result and run the program. So we have 16. Now I'm going to print out the binary equivalence of 16. That way you can be able to understand what really happened. And so we have print bin results. And so we have 10,000 as our binary equivalent. So this is what really happened. We have 100 as our norms, and we're shifting to the left by 2. So what this means is this. Imagine that you have spaces at the left, just like this. When you perform a binary left shift, you are shifting the bits to the left. So what this means is that we're shifting 2 times to the left, 1 and 2. And at the same time, we're going to be adding 2 zeros at the right. So we have 1 and 2. This is how it came about with 10,000. Now let me move it back to 100, and this time around I'm going to shift it by 4. And we'll run it. So now we have 1 million. And this is because we shifted to the left 4 times, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we now added 4 zeros by the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how we perform the bitwise left shift. Now let's look at the right shift. When we perform the right shift, we're moving the bits to the right. So I'm going to change this to, let's say 1, and I'm going to use the right shift operator. And originally we have 100 as our norms. Now let's run the program, and so we have 10. So what happens is that we're shifting the bits to the right. So we shift once and remove 1 0 from the right. If I'm to change this to 2, and originally we have 100, and we'll run it, we're going to have 1. What happens is that we shift it to the right by 2, which is 1, 2, and remove 2 digits from the right. 1, 2. And this is how it came about with 1. Then finally, let's look at the last operator under the bitwise operators, which is the Bitwise NOT operator. I'm not going to dwell so much about this because there are a lot of mathematical undertone behind this operation. So, but this is the operator for the Bitwise NOT operator. So we have num is equal to 1. And to perform a Bitwise NOT operation, we can have result is equal to Bitwise NOT operator and num. So let's print out the results. And so we have -2. If I change this to 10, we should be getting -11. In the next lesson, we're going to be looking at the control structures, which are structures that allow us to alter the flow of execution of our programs.